Hello, world. I'm the surly curmudgeon, and I'm here to help you. Today, we got a tough topic to tackle, and that is how to win the war against Islam. And there is only one way to do it. First of all, you have to quit worrying about fighting the Muslims, because really, they're just the foot soldiers. They're not the real enemy, and there's billions of them. They will keep coming because they have made such shitholes of their own countries. They're going to come over here. And when they get here, US, Western Europe, whatever, all they're going to do is rape, rob, and kill. That is their purpose. That's how they've done it since they friggin' existed 1,300 years ago. No, the real enemy is the people who are bringing them over here. See my video, Migration or Invasion, How to Tell. And ask yourself seriously, are the Muslims coming here or are they being sent? If they're being sent, by whom? And the big problem is the traitors in our countries. All right, right now we're seeing it worst in Sweden and Germany, who are actually stopping the locals from exercising their rights to be protected from these animals. They're saying, no, 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 you can't do that. You can't be protected from these people. In Sweden, there was a Supreme Court decision that the Muslims shouldn't get the additional years in prison for gang rape because it wasn't gang rape because they took turns. Okay? That's the kind of thing you're up against. The Muslims aren't the big problem. We could handle them if it weren't for our own governments using them to destroy us. So we are talking about not open revolt. You will not win open revolt. Okay? The only way you're going to win it is through a quiet revolt. And I don't recommend you do this. Okay? I'm telling you because I want to lay out for you just how serious your situation is and to show you that there's only one way out of it, and that is not through violence. But here's how bad it is. All right? The government, because the governments are helping these people to commit their crimes and then not get punished for them. In Turkey, in Germany, just last week, a Turkish rapist was let off, completely exonerated, because he didn't know that forcing a woman to have sex against her will was wrong. He thought he was just having wild sex, like everybody does in the West. Okay? That's what the court actually wrote in their documents. Okay? Against people like this, you realize, no, the rapist isn't the big problem. Okay? The judges who are not only letting them off, but encouraging them are the big problem. And here's what you're going to have to do to win your war. No other route will work. Okay. Let me address the other routes first. Okay. First, you could fight against the Muslims. That is exactly what the people who are bringing them in want you to do. They told us 60 years ago that their plan is for the so-called Christian West and the Muslim East to fight each other to complete annihilation and exhaustion. Okay, so if you go up against the Muslims, you're doing exactly what they want you to do. And even though you're better armed and better fed and better trained and smarter, there's a billion of them, and the government is going to tie your hands behind your back. They already have tied your hands behind your back, and they've given the Muslims all these advantages, not because they want the Muslims to win, but they want it to be a fair enough fight that both sides beat each other until there's just nothing left. That's what they're trying to do. Don't participate. If you fight with the Muslims, that's what you're doing. You're helping your enemy destroy you. Don't fucking do it. Go after your real enemy. If you're going to fight this fight, then you have to go after, starting with, in every Western country I know of, the prosecutors. You have to have someone go to the prosecutor, preferably in a public meeting, and say, why are you not prosecuting the conspiracy to overthrow the United States government, which you know is right here in this mosque, and that mosque, and that mosque? Why are you not prosecuting that conspiracy to overthrow? He's going to say whatever bullshit he says. Your purpose there was not to get him to change his ways. That's not going to do it. Okay? And then, if you're serious about winning this war, and again, I do not advocate this. I'm telling you, this is the only thing that's going to work. So don't, and my purpose is to dissuade you from even trying. Okay? The only thing that would work is to then find out where the prosecutor lives and then go to his house and spend the night torturing him to death. And you leave a sign on his body that says, I refused, I betrayed my people, and I refused to prosecute the conspiracy to overthrow the Constitution that is Islam. That's the only way, and you're going to have to do that over and over and over again in various jurisdictions. And then what will happen, the sign that you put on the body will not get into the media. It will go through the grapevine to other prosecutors and judges, and they'll realize we have a serious problem on our hands. The peasants have gotten smart, and they've realized who their real enemy is, or who the tools of the real enemy are. The real enemy is that top 13 Illuminati bloodline families and other groups of people who are vying for power in the world right now, and you can't get to them. You just can't. You might be able to change their plans by persuading the upper level servants to not do the job. I mean, if you make being a prosecutor such a short-lived proposition that no one will take the job, then you're starting to make a dent in your enemy's plans, and you're going to start to force them to change their plans. And after prosecutors, you're probably going to have to go after judges. All right? And you'll have to realize we are at war, and decide, if I'm captured in this war, am I willing to go to prison, or am I just always going to be armed so that if they come after me, I'll be able to force it to a shootout, which, of course, I'll lose. But at least then you're not in prison being gang raped by their rape squads that they put in there. And they do put in there and promote that. It's just, geez. So that's what it would take. You would have to start torturing officials to death who betray our people and not worry about due process. And here's why I say don't worry about due process. You, according to our Constitution, are qualified to sit as a juror. You can tell when the law has been broken. You can also tell when the system isn't working anymore. When the system not only doesn't work, it works for your enemies. It's being used against you. A lot of people think of the Second Amendment as being, people lining up and fighting traditional large number battles. No, it doesn't have to be. Doesn't have to be at all. And for you to win this, you are going to have to focus on the decision makers and the enforcers who are protecting the Muslims from their crimes. And you're going to have to torture them to death. That's why you're not going to win this. You don't have the stomach to do it. And I'm not going to do it. I'm not on your side. You've alienated me to the point that, sorry, I ain't having nothing to do with you. Really. After you've got the prosecutors terrified and the judges terrified, all that, then you will have achieved stalemate. All right? The influx of Muslims will slow down, and the Muslims themselves will start to back off, because at the same time, some of you are going after the prosecutors and the judges. Others of you will be naturally emboldened, and they'll go into the Muslim community, and they'll start busting heads. And they'll do it quietly and sneakily, and they'll get back out. And the Muslims will go, oh, wait, these people can fight back. They're not gutless like we were told. Maybe we should calm down. And they'll start to calm down. However, you're not done at that point. To win your war, you have to go to a judge. Somebody has to go and file a request for a court order for ICE to remove the Muslims from the country, because they're all a conspiracy to overthrow the constitutional government. When he denies that order, which he will, you're going to have to go to his house and torture him to death and put a sign on him, I betrayed my people. That's what it would take, and you're not going to do it. I don't think you should do it. I think there's a way better way. What you can't do is hang on to your land and your house. The powers that be have decided to destroy them and you. You can escape with your life. You cannot escape with your house. That's not going to happen. Accept it. The way that you can escape with your life is by joining the terraformers. terraformers.neoviking.com. It's linked in the description below. You need to get out and get any women that you don't want raped out before the troops get here. The enemy's already here. And we will have ultimate victory. They're going to actually, we're not going to have it. Russia is going to give us ultimate victory because they care about us. They are going to nuke the United States and Germany and I think Sweden. I'll bet money on this. And their purpose won't be to destroy the nations, but to destroy the military power of these evil people who are launching this Muslim invasion into the West. And again, see my video, Migration or Invasion, How to Tell, and I'll prove to you, this is not a migration. This is an invasion that someone is paying for and coordinating. And when Russia nukes the United States, they're going to kill the people who are paying for it and coordinating it. And only then will we be able to reverse it and send them all home. All right. Meanwhile, terraformers.neoviking.com. Don't kill anybody. Don't torture anybody. And don't dick around. Because killing and torturing is what winning your war is going to take. So either don't start it or go all in and do it right, realizing you ain't going to win. Because there aren't enough of you, you're not well enough coordinated, and suicide bombing is simply not us. And honestly, we're talking about assassination here, and the only way to be sure an assassination is going to work is for the assassin to be willing to give his life in the attempt. And that's not usually us. Not a suicide bomber, but someone who goes in knowing he might not come back out. And that's not normally how we do assassinations. Yeah, so you might, get one or two done, but you'd need a coordinated plan. You got to know which judges you're going after and which prosecutors you're going after. You're not going to do it. You're not going to win. Any other route you take will fail. Any other route you take will fail. You'll either win this war by cutting the nerves out of the enemy's body, that's the prosecutors, the judges, okay, or you'll lose it because you can't defeat the muscle and the bone. Not while the nerves are in place, simply because there's too many Muslims and they're too well resourced by the people who want them to come over here and kill you and rape you. So, always put your clothes and weapons where you can find them in the dark.